speaker?
Absolutely, yes. So I would like to take the opportunity to introduce Rosalind Booker. She is the first vice president for Women's Council of Realtors, Collin County. She is an instructor for real estate with Texas Realtors, and she has over 20 years of experience. She's a certified probate specialist as of last month, and a very inspirational woman and friend, Miss Ros Booker.
Hey, everybody, glad to be here. Feels like
Mm,
fam. We are. Um, I guess I just take off. Is this where I just start sharing or?
It's all you, my dear.
Awesome sauce. Well, it's so good to see everybody. Hey, Women's Council, Collin County just entered the room. Our wonderful president, I believe that would be Shanae, right? Is that you? Yes, there it is. There's her name. Well, thank y'all again for allowing me to be here. I know, time. What is time? While I'm sharing my screen, why don't we go ahead and just go around the room? When you think of time, you can either say a famous quote or come up with your own about time. What would you have to say about time?
Something you can't get back.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Time is about the essence.
Absolutely.
It's our most valuable asset.
Yes.
You never know how much you have.
Come on. Yes. Time is valuable. I mean, it's a commodity. It's like currency. How we spend it, it matters. It definitely does matter. So I come from a corporate background. I worked in diversity and inclusion in corporate America, where I met my wonderful husband, Fortune 500 company. And as I traveled the U.S. talking about the company's minority and women-owned supplier development department. I was a single mom at that time that I had this position. And oh my God, I was juggling so many balls in the air. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm preaching to the choir here. Here I am trying to, with my new license, show property on lunch break, after work, get to the grocery store during lunch, pop out the meals for the kiddos, for them, the latchkey children, to put into the microwave. I mean, that was my life. So I had to learn way back when I started my career in corporate America, about how to juggle time. And the thing is like many of you have said, we don't get it back. How we spend it does matter. And so I like to teach in acronyms. I believe after you leave today, we leave today, we're going to have a better understanding of mastering the CPPE formula, throughout corporate America, throughout organizations that I've worked with in nonprofit and in the community, and then, of course, in real estate and all of the wonderful training that I've had. I've just taken its and bits and pieces and put a presentation together that I think will be very, very helpful for everybody at any given time. Just stop me if you want to interject. If you have anything, I am going to pull on you so that I know that you're engaged and you're not writing a contract or a listing. And I understand if you do need to do that, then you probably don't need to be here. But I would expect that you ladies would be engaged. So here's what Maya said. Time is a currency. You can only spend it once, so be careful how you invest it. Ben Franklin said, time is money. I know we can say that, right? Time doesn't wait for anyone. It's up to us to make the most of it. That's our late Dr. Reverend MLK Jr. Time is free, but it's priceless. You can't own it, but you can use it. You can't keep it, but you can spend it. Once you've lost it, like you just said, you can't get it back. That's Harvey McKay. So, when I get up in the morning, see these beautiful people right here. I call them family. Sometimes I want to strangle them. I have to get up and remember my why, because otherwise, I would be all over the place. But to my left, probably your right, you see the little girl there with the braids, Cheesy. That's my granddaughter. Can you believe she's a senior this year? She's tracking to graduate with an associate's degree and a diploma. There's my husband there in the back corner, him and I. We're missing two, and this picture is kind of old, so everybody is super big now. And on my right to your left, that's me and my husband. We love to travel. We need to do more of it, creating memories, but that's how I want to spend my time. And when I want to pull out the hair that I have left, I always remember this is my why. So this helps me stay centered on valuing my time. So let's get to the formula that I talked about. So the C in that formula, the CPPE formula, is to command our day. First of all, ladies, when we get down and lay down at night, we have to reflect on our day. I am a big component. I don't care who you believe in, but we have to have a higher power, right? So we have to be able to command our day. Whatever that looks like. I don't know if you meditate, if you're doing yoga, or if you believe, in God or several, it doesn't matter. Just command your day. You have to own it. And I believe what you say to yourself and what you say to your day is actually what happens. Let me give you an example. If you say, oh crap, I'm going to get up, it's just going to be a disgusting day. Well, you're probably going to have a really disgusting day, right? So first things first, when I say command your day, get up and ask, what are the instructions for today? How do I really want to shape my day? Where is my day going? Instead of always looking for the spirit of perfection, because, oh no, for those of us who like things just I dotted, T crossed, can be no error. If you are a perfectionist, that may stand in the way of not your perfect day, but your purpose day. So if we can shift our mindset to say, okay, if I get up and command my day and tell my day where it's going to go and how it's going to go, then I am getting up and I am operating and I am motivated based on purpose, not just task oriented, not just letting the day drag you along, right? So you get up and you have a purpose day. There's a difference between perfect and a purpose day, okay? And there's just some scripture that I actually use, and I do not hide my faith. That's my foundation. So I have to take this principle everywhere I go, but you can translate this into, again, whatever your higher being is and whatever you look to gravitate, if it's good energy or whatever it is. Wake up, command your day, own it, and have a purpose day. Can we stop right now? And can y'all give me an example of some of the things you may do when you get up in the morning to make sure that your day is centered?
I
Meditation.
started
making my bed and I started to focus on my gardening first thing in the morning. And that gives me my me time to prepare for the day and start planning ahead what we're going to do and how the course of the day is going to go.
Nice. I love that. I love that. Whatever opens up your mind to let your juices start to flow, right? I know somebody said meditation. Who said that? And I'm trying to keep my screen before me so I can't see everybody at the same time. And I see somebody's in the chat. Affirmations. Is it Ohas? That is great. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Affirmations. And we have different words that we say for what that means. So we've covered the C. So we're going to command our day because we're going to have a purpose day. Uh-oh. I think I'm locked.
Nope, you're good.
Am I
Oh,
moving?
your screen's locked. You're fine, but your screen,
Oh,
is that what
okay.
you mean?
Yeah, hold on. It doesn't like when let me go back. Okay. Temperamental. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is prioritize. This seems pretty simple, right? Okay, prioritize. That's what we are made to do as real estate professionals, right? But I'm telling you, if we don't lead our lives well in some form or fashion, how can we lead our clients' life well? How can we manage the 75 to 100 touches or processes that we have to manage to make sure that they can get to the closing table if we're not prioritizing? And let me submit to you that everything seems urgent, but not everything is a priority. You know, there could be other people's fires that will become your priority. And this is one of the things that I've really had to learn in every area of my life. Boundaries are beautiful. You have to create boundaries or you're going to burn out, right? And if you crash, if others have crashed, you may peel back the onion and find that they had a boundary issue. So we're not going to prioritize the 35, the 40 or 50 things that seem very urgent, but that's why you got to get up and be centered, command your day, be a purposeful person, right? And understand big picture where you're going to head. Otherwise, you will be juggling 30 things. There's one little simple task that I have done is I like to draw the circle of life, and I teach this as well. And you could do it with me right here, right now. It's very simple. It may seem elementary, but I'm telling you, as much as we can brain dump, mind map, the better. Whether this is for your day, your week, your month, your year, draw a circle. Then inside of that circle, draw one line down the middle. So you got two halves, right? Then draw a line right through the middle of that circle in that T. So now you have a T, so you have 4 slices. Okay, you're like, okay, where is she going? But you want to draw another one diagonally. So now you maybe have 6. What are these? These are your priorities for the day, the week, the month, the year. Why is this important? You're creating your circle of life or your boundaries. What is it that you want to focus on for the day, the week, the month, okay, or the year? So once you create those priorities, guess what that does? That helps you with your why. It helps eliminate distractions. It helps us set boundaries, and we get to win, W-I-N. We get to do what's important right now. You know, and we'll get to it. Social media is the breath and the death of us. Because you'll see some pretty startling figures and stats that say, hey, once we get off track, we're off track for a long time. You know, we think that we can multitask, but we don't do everything well. So commanding, prioritizing is very, very important. We're going to get to it. I'm going to ask you some of the things that you're using throughout your day to help you. And that's what this is about, giving and gleaning. So we covered commanding, we covered prioritizing. Now that you have your 5 or your 3, right, top priorities, it could be 2. Now you can plan based on your priorities. If you don't have a goal, you cannot score. I used to play basketball when I was in middle school, all the way through high school. And y'all, even as an adult with kids, I finally laid up and retired my Chuck Taylors in my late 30s. Yes, I was out there on the basketball court. So I talk a lot about coaching and guys, and I also coached in the local associations in a couple of cities. So once you're dealt a hand, meaning girls that you have to play because they're paying, you just work with what you have, right? So you have to plan. You have to plan your purposed or your perfect day. Set the daily goals that support your priorities. But if you didn't establish the priorities, it's no wonder you're burnt out by the end of the day, the week, the month, is because you've served everything else. You've done everything else except what was important now. Okay. Time blocking is really important. Raise your hand if you time block, or raise your hand if you don't. You know, let's discuss right now what's working for you in terms of time blocking. For me, I know that I get up very, very, very early in the morning. I have my own personal time, my devotion, just like Mindy said. You know, I have my time where I'm very jealous at that time. Nobody gets to disturb me during that time. Now, and you know, some people, like, they're stalkers, y'all. They'll be like, I saw you up on social media. You were up at 5:36, but not for you. You know, there's those boundaries. Don't call me, don't text me, and don't expect an answer because that's my time. And you have to communicate what's important to you, or people will impede that time. They will waste it. So I found that living intentionally, you have to time block. So I get up and I've time blocked every 30 minutes of my day until I lay down. Now, I will push myself through in the evening, but y'all, if I'm sitting still about 7 to 7:30 in the evening, I am out of there by 8 o'clock because I get up at 3:34 every morning. But what I do from that time to 8 o'clock may be what someone does all day long. You have to know who you are, how you were wired, how you were built, and you have to understand if this is a season or a time in your leadership, in your business, whether it's an organization or whether it's your personal life, if it's time to expand. And the only way that you can expand is to increase your capacity. Sometimes, and that's what I love about Women's Council, is that the accountability, and I'm coming back to planning because it has organizationally helped me be a better planner. And that's one of the things that I love because, you know, I thought I was a structured person, but I'm like, ooh, I had some loose ends over here. But it's not a one and done. It's not a one and done. You can get so good at, oh, I got this down. I'm floating. I know I get up without a clock here and there. But let me tell you, life chance happens. And it just happens to us and through us. And there will be something, not if, but when, that comes to knock you off of your goals and your plan. And you have to, like, okay, let me stop, drop, and roll because I've been busy all day and ain't done nothing. Right? Or I'm just mentally exhausted. Why? Are you outside of those 5 top priorities? So whatever you do, whatever is working for you, get a system that works for you and block out your day and be mindful and protect your day because your day is your money. Your time is your money, and don't allow others to waste it, and don't waste it yourself. And we're going to get to some things that causes us to be like deers in the headlight too. So we command, we prioritize, we plan. Oh my goodness. And here we are with the E, CPPE, execute. A goal without a plan is just a wish. You know, a goal without a plan is just a wish. ACT, action changes things. Sometimes planning is not even the issue, it's not the problem. If you're like me, you have journals and journals, you have pads and pads, you got 50,000 notes in your electronic device, and they're still just notes. You haven't done anything with them. I haven't done anything with them. We have to execute. And having that business plan, and I find that having more than one type of plan for your life is great. One for your personal goals, professional, philanthropic, etc. But that goes back to where? You got to go back to the beginning, drawing the circle of life. Like Nike, sometimes, y'all, we just have to do it. It's like, oh my God. Oh my God. And I learned this along the way. Do the hardest thing first. The thing that keeps dropping down from number 1 goes to number 3. Now it's number 5. Now it's number 10. Then it becomes number 20 on a list that you started in January, and it's still not done. You know, I've found and I learned that, yeah, it's pretty important not to let other people down, like be a person of your word. But it really hurts and hits our gut when we let our own self down. Would you agree? Because it's like, God, I keep saying that I'm going to get this done. And we can't blame anybody else. It's on us. I take this very personal, and I'm very, very passionate about it, especially if you were wired to do a whole lot. And sometimes we have to do a lot with less. And it really becomes critical to protect and own your day so that we operate efficiently, effectively, and purposefully. I heard Eric Thomas say, Dr. Eric Thomas, I mean, oh, sometimes he can be pretty shrilling with his quotes. And I will paraphrase, what will your dreams say about you at your gravesite? Will they say, we did not get to live through that person? That's pretty deep. So one of the tests, EEP, there's another acronym. There she goes with them acronyms. Oh my God, what is she talking about? EEP test. If you're getting a little off task, ask yourself in that very moment, is what I'm about to do effective? Is there a better way to do this? Is it efficient? What are the results am I looking for? Is there a better way to do it? Is there a way to automate this? And is it purposeful? EEP test. So I want you ladies to remember this. Ladies and gentlemen, remember this as you go throughout your day. And it takes your brain to stop and like, okay, EEP, is it effective? Is it efficient? Is it purposeful? If it's not, it's a waste of time. It's just a waste of time. And as passionate and compassionate as some of us are, don't get in the trap. Don't fall in the trap of needing to be needed. Uh-oh, what is she talking about? I'm talking about you're doing things outside of your priorities because it seems like the right thing to do. And in fact, you may be on something that's a dead or a fading order or dream, or you may be interacting with someone who's just not ready to step up and take responsibility for their own powerful life. And in that case, you have to wonder, am trying to be a super shero or hero because, oh, they said they needed me and I'm supposed to help? Well, is that a part of your strategy? Is it a part? I know that sounds a bit shrewd. It doesn't leave much room for, but look at how much time, if we really, really, really look back, how much time have we really wasted? All right, here we go. Let's talk about some dream killers. If we're not aware of what the problem is, we can't fix what we don't know about, right? Here's another acronym, write it down, the PDCD syndrome, PDCD syndrome. That sounds pretty critical. Oh my God, what is that? What kills our dreams? The big procrastination. Anybody ever suffer from that? It's robbing us of our goals and dreams. It's a sniper. What's the cure to it? We just got to do it. We have to shift and we have to develop a new mindset. Whatever is keeping us stumped at not performing our tasks. Let's stop right here and let's talk about it because I've been talking a long time. Why do we procrastinate? I want to hear from at least 3 of us.
Fear of failure.
Oh, Mindy, you're right.
Being fearful.
There it is again. Dewana.
Just don't want to do it.
Don't want to do it. Why, Rhonda? How come? Well, let's peel it back. How come we don't want to do it sometimes?
Well, I think it goes into maybe we feel like, we won't do a good job, or, don't think that don't think that you are good enough to do it. Your value. We inflict pain on ourselves, oftentimes, instead of being positive and going forward and breaking through the fear.
Absolutely. That is so good. Fear, self-doubt, maybe low self-esteem. I said confidence, low confidence. Yeah, all of those things. And I'm stuck again because I looked into the box. Hold on. My computer is temperamental. Let me start here. All right, so we got the P, the procrastination. You know what? Now that we know what these are, we're gonna kill some things that's been killing our dreams. Distraction. Here's the D in the PDCD syndrome, distractions. Oh, goodness. Distractions. What does distractions do? They derail us from achieving our goals and dreams. What took 11 days is taking some of us 40 years. Why? We're distracted. Could it be? What's the cure? Stick to the plan. Focus. Plan the work. Work the plan. The plan will not work, will never work unless we have one. Here's the C. Clutter. Clutter where? Clutter in our home offices. You know how we say, okay, I'm getting ready to move this pile. I'm cleaning now to the other side of the room or another room. Discard the junk. Y'all, 1 year. And it was the year we had not really translated to our digital age right now. I shredded 564 pounds of paper that I had in my attic, my offices, the closets, but that was representative of something else I needed to declutter in my mind, in my thoughts. We can't think a different way. We can't be a different way until we think a different way. If we have, remember I talked about capacity, how we need to stretch in this season, how we may need to do more with less, or maybe we are being challenged to tap into another field, hone our skills, take on a elevation or a promotion, but we can't do that if we have junk in the trunk. We have to learn to declutter our physical spaces as well as our mental spaces. These are dream killers. Procrastination, distractions, clutter, and here we go. Disappointment. How many times, I get a little passionate about this, a little teary-eyed. How many times do we let disappointments just say, forget it. I ain't doing this no more. I ain't doing it again. I'm not going to step up no more. I just have to be real. I quit. But if we have a plan, if you already know where you're heading, if you've already planned for the obstacle, if you've already planned for the failure, I didn't call you a failure. I didn't call us a failure. I didn't say we were going to fail, but look, the truth is, it ain't gonna be peachy keen. We're not always gonna get our way. It's not always gonna go our way. What are we gonna do? Lay down and give up? When you're the one who was promoted to that position to do that thing or to make it better, what are you gonna do? I know it's disappointing and we get emotional, right? And we're like, gosh, this hurts. Or, you know what? Maybe I wasn't good enough. I'm disappointed in me. But if we plan for the obstacle, and I want us to do a little dialogue here. Because when I say plan for the obstacle, if you have commanded your day, if you've prioritized by drawing the circle of life and you know what you're focused on, and then you've outlined your strategy or your goals, what your to-do is going to be to get to that point, you must know what can come in and throw a wrench into that. That's what we mean, plan for the obstacle. How will you plan? How will we plan for the obstacle? Because that's what zaps us sometimes is, I didn't see that coming, right? I just didn't see that one coming. But we have to be critical thinkers. And we have to plan for this exciting destiny and a journey into whatever we're doing. And say, if I'm following this step, this step, this step, what could happen that would come and derail this? Let's talk through it. Can y'all give me some examples?
I know where I'm starting. I can always give examples. I tell everyone I'm Debbie Downer. I will tell you everything that could go wrong.
Mm.
Kim.
So that's a pivot. It's a pivot. I mean, I mentally look at it as a pivot.
There you go. I love how you put that, Rhonda.
You know, and it may not happen right now. It's not denied, it's delayed. And I don't know. I always often say sometimes a setback might be a setup for a comeback. So, you know, I got all my things in my head that you know, because I'm all about positivity, and I get it, we all get down, but I give myself about 15 minutes to get down, you know what I mean, in the gutter, and then I got to just pick myself back up again.
There you go. I love it. I love it. I love it. Anybody else? How do you plan for the obstacle? What do you do to overcome your disappointment?
I think when you anticipate that there's always going to be something that you're just being more flexible, and you have to be flexible because there's always some kind of a blindsided, curveball coming at you. So, if you're prepared for that, it's all good.
Well,
I was going to also say self-talk. What are you saying to yourself? Like,
yes.
For me, you know, I'm always, every morning I get up and I make affirmations of who I am, not who everybody else says I am, but who my creator says I am. And you know what, that gives me, you know what I mean? That gives me that strength no matter what happens during the day, because, hey, just because I planned for it and it didn't happen does not mean that I'm not everything that he says I am.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, one of the things that happened, if you've been in real estate this long, 2007 and 8 happened to us. And I just wasn't prepared. We have a 2-income family household. And of course, we built our life on 2 incomes. And when 2007 and 8 happened, and I didn't have any other experience other than buyer's agency, I was leveled to the tune of bankruptcy. Okay. But I learned something, and I was very disappointed. I actually was like, did I make a mistake about this industry? So I never let my brokers lapse or anything like that. And yeah, I did have to go take a job temporarily, but I like Rocky. I heard that Rocky, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. I heard that Rocky music raise up in me. And I'm like, I got to get back out here because I feel like a ball and chain at this desk. But I did what I had to do. But when I came back with a strategy. I came back with a plan. I came back and said, you know what? I don't know what I thought I knew. Let me sit under somebody and get some education. And so I really, from that point, became a sponge. When I say a sponge, I became a sponge. You know, the teachers are great students. You just never, ever stop learning. So I was a broker, accreditation wise, but I went under another broker in about 6.5 years. And then there I went, you know, back off the cliff, started my own brokerage, et cetera, et cetera. But what did I do? I'm like, okay, if and when this kind of season comes again, and this is just my own little personal testimony, y'all, I'm never going to spend everything I make. That was so dumb. I'm not going to live on 100% of, you know, what my income is. Actually, you know, we're going to get these bills down, right? So what did I do? Plan for another obstacle to come. We are in cycles, not if, but when. We have to plan for it. And it may mean that you're taking on an extra career role. It may mean that you're transitioning into a new career or getting an accreditation, right? As a certified probate specialist, something like that. But let's move on. Is this helping anybody? I know it's like I'm preaching to the choir here, but sometimes being reminded of things like this really helps us.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Awesome. Okay, let's talk about our latest gift, but our latest distraction. This social media and the cell phone. Let me move this out of the way. Some of this you already know. Average online attention span. And soon as I move these things around, my computer says you're messing with me. Stop my share, reshare. Where'd it go? There it is. Can you see my screen? Yes. Can you see my?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, average online attention span is 8 seconds. It may even be less than that now, y'all. So that means people blink 3 times when they either come to our social media pages, our websites, etc. And while we're trying to give them a dissertation, right, on the main point, which is down at word number 2000, they've gone on to somebody else. So keep that in mind when you are speaking to someone, whether you have print media, whether you have a blog, etc. Our attention span is very low. Takes the brain 23 minutes and 15 seconds to get back on track once we veer away from our targeted goals. Now, do you see now why it's so important to have, first of all, commanded your day, prioritize your day, and made a strategy and goals and objectives to get there? Because if we're not centered, if we don't time block, then mentally it takes us this many minutes to get back on track. How do we do it as moms? I don't know. Adults spend 2.5 hours a day on social media. I actually think it's a lot more than that. But actively, cumulatively on social media, our teenagers spend an average of 4.8 hours a day on social media. They're in school though. If they don't get their phones taken, well, when are they on social media? All night. Okay. 89% of people, drum roll, checks their phones early in the mornings before they do anything. Anything. See how we can become little slaves to these gadgets? Then people check their phones on an average, y'all, 144 times a day. Well, when do we have time for anything else if that's what we're doing? So just some little stats on how we can become distracted. So what's in your planning toolbox? What's in your toolbox for planning? Here are just a few things. I wanted to name them. I would like for you to either come off of mute and state what you are using, or go ahead and type it in the chat. I believe they're going to share this later. Now, this is where we get to give and glean together. So for your calendar and appointments, what are you using? What are you using for your daily task and your project management? What are you using for your CRM? Y'all talk it up, share. That's what I love about Women's Council. No selfless people here. I love it. All righty. Go ahead and type it in. Type what you're using. So the expectation, not unless you're driving. If you're driving, be safe. At least, we need at least 10 comments in the chat. What calendar and appointment apps are you using? What is your daily task and project management tools? What's your CRM? Or if you have a really cool app. Thank y'all. Thank you for participating. Thank you so much. Thank you. So while you're doing that, I just want to give you some pearls, some tips, and some wisdom, some things, again, that I've picked up along the way. Command, prioritize, plan, and execute your purposed or perfect day. We have to retreat often, even if that means getting up and just stepping away from the computer or the project 15 minutes. Go read or do nothing. I think that's a great practice, is to do nothing. If you can sit still and make your mind be still for 15 minutes, that's huge. If you can take a quick power nap 15 minutes, you will be refreshed. Schedule you in your day. How many have a problem with that? You give, pour, and then you're like, okay, what's left for me today? Nothing but to go to sleep. But schedule you in your day. You are important. Celebrate your accomplishments. I don't care how big or small. I'm very surprised how little that we, as women, women in business, women in community, we celebrate ourselves, right? We celebrate everybody else, but it's hard to say, you know what? Good job. Even if it was a very little milestone, tell the world about it. Because if you don't feel good about it, you can't expect anybody else to really do that. And my whole premise here for these tips and pearls and wisdom is to understand that the success that we are really after, y'all, it's an inside job. That's the real success. It comes from the inside out. We're not looking for another affirmation, a confirmation, an appointmentship. It would be good, especially from the teams or people that we aspire, that we really honor and love. But when it doesn't happen, toot your horn. And I know, oh, we're not supposed to think more of ourselves than we should. Well, ladies, and sometimes gents, I'm of the opinion we don't think enough of ourselves as we should. Celebrate. Do the hardest thing first. This is a big one. Delegate or stagnate. I don't know if you're like me, I need to fire myself from these $12 to $14 hour jobs, even if it means that I love it. In this time, in this season where we're expanding, increasing capacity, elevating, growing together, there's room at the top for everybody, but we're going to have to delegate or stagnate or stop being so lazy and cheap and hire somebody to do it. I don't know any other way to put it. And I'm not pointing here without these other 3 or 4 fingers pointing back at me. Y'all, we have to talk to ourselves. We have to say, self, look at here. You know, it takes you 4 hours to do this. When you have, if you have looked at your hourly pay, this is another thing. Knowing your value, articulating your unique value proposition. I teach that when it's written. If you don't know what you're worth at hours, now, for pride's sake, or I'm going to do it myself, or I'm going to be cheap, look how many hours you spent on that project that you could have paid somebody $50 to do, and you wasted $600 worth of your valuable hours where you could have been growing your business, lead generating, prospecting, you know, learning a new skill that's going to advance you. You see what I mean? Oh, ouch, my toes is barking over here. Okay, journal daily. Why? Y'all, that's a very cheap therapist, psychiatrist. If we journal, you can't talk to nobody. You can't trust anybody. Journal. Oh my God, it is a good thing. You want to journal because there'll be some downloads. There'll be some great ideas that, because we take in much information, you know, that information and data is coming at us at the speed of lightning, and we don't process but this much. You're going to forget about it, and you're going to forget about the dreams that you're reaching for. You're going to forget if you don't write it down. So journal. If you come up with a great idea, you'll be able to go back to it and say, yeah, I knew I wasn't crazy. I'm supposed to be doing this. Reflect over the day before going to bed. I said that in the beginning. Why? It is crazy how it works. Y'all, we have a conscious mind and we have the subconscious mind. Stay with me, because the conscious mind is likened unto a general in the army. The subconscious mind is like the little soldiers that's going to carry out the mission. So if the conscious mind never tells the subconscious what to do, it does nothing. The subconscious mind will never usurp the instructions of the general, which is the conscious mind. Why is that important? Because as we sleep, the subconscious mind is at work, about to gravitate to the things that we have reflected over before we went to bed. That's why it's important to understand what you put in your ears, how you lay down at night, what's on your mind at night, what's in your ears at night. It matters. Join a mastermind group like today. Look, and when you don't join one, create one. If the door doesn't swing wide open for you and you've been knocking and beating, build it. Build the door. Exercise. Get those endorphins going. Feel good about yourself. Somebody said they meditate, but exercise. This 77-pound small horse I have over here, my furry animal, has 4 legs. He's a German Shepherd. He drags me every day. We're accountability partners. He knows what I need because I'm not going to do it without a push or a pull or a dragging. And I know what he needs. So we help each other be accountable. So I get to burn my calories and, you know, kill a little sludge. And look, he gets his energy out and stays fit. Eat healthy. Set and honor your boundaries. It's not just good enough to have some boundaries. It's not just good enough to bark loud and have no bite. Set boundaries and honor them. If you lose some people, places, or things along the way, that's okay, because it's setting you up for your next. Share your goals with safe people. Have a safe place to share your dreams with dream fulfillers, not dream killers. You may need to form some new circles or be in some new rooms. The truth is, the people you started with may not be the people that you end with, even though you're trying to drag them up the hill. I am of the opinion there are people who are coming and we are going to be pushing up the hill together. Write it down before you forget it. Serve and join a board. And last but not least, I cannot talk about any level of success without talking about community. The picture on my right to your left, this is a women's group that I led for several years. And I tell you, it was the highlight of our week to be able to come together. That's about having that community, a safe place to come and share, you know, and be lifted. And always date your spouse. Again, that goes back to how I want to spend my time. I want to create more time so we have dates like this. And that concludes the presentation, Mastering Your Purpose or Perfect Day. Any questions, any dialogue? Thank y'all so much.
Thank you for this. I
Thank you,
really
Ross.
needed this.
You are amazing and beautiful. And thank you so much for giving us this Wednesday morning pick me up. I am going to conquer today and get rolling. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
you
you, Ross. That was great. We all needed to hear all of this. Very inspirational. I know every time I talk to you, it's like just, you know, a better day.
Yes.
Awesome. We do that for one another. Yeah.
Have you been looking in my office though? Because I'm like in here right now. About
How do I know?
great job. Oh my God, that was so inspirational. I think we all can agree we needed it.
Thank you.
It was definitely on time. Okay, guys, we want to thank you, Rosalind. We thank you for coming and giving these great words to us today. As everyone has pretty much mentioned, we definitely needed it. It was definitely on time for my personal self. So I appreciate you. Couldn't get off the call without saying, if you have not joined Women's Council of Realtors, you need a home, please go to wcr.org and join. If you have any questions, please reach out to someone on the call. This is our very last mastermind for 2024. And so we just thank you, those who did join when you could. And we appreciate all the feedback and all the things that we learned through the mastermind. Ms. Karen, is there anything else?
No, I think we're all set. Thank you, Ross. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And we hope to see you guys next week at the orientation or in Boston also. So thanks again for everything.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.